Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are joined by Shira Lurie. Sorry for the technical difficulty getting started. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Oh, happy holidays. Great to have you back. Christmas was good. Santa was good to you?
Absolutely. Everybody was great. It was lovely.
Fantastic. Same here. So please, to start off, I know we're going to be talking about the new year coming up. And of course, probably a lot of those New Year's resolutions that we all do make and can stick with. But first and foremost, tell us how we could reach you and a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I'm a professional organizer and I am based out of New Orleans, but I work nationwide. The best way to get a hold of me is to just give me a call. My number is area code 248-709-0609. And my website is Life Organized Nola. You're welcome to reach out with me there as well. I'm on Instagram and Facebook and all that good stuff. So that's really the best way to get a hold of me. Now is a perfect time of year because our schedules are a little bit different for a lot of people. So actually after this call, I have a phone call consultation. So it's going to be a good day besides work.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And what is the website where we can get you?
It's called Life Organized Nola. Organized is past tense. And lifeorganizednola.com. And you're welcome to shoot me an email through there. I've got my shop there. Sorry, I'm dog sitting.
That's okay. All good.
She's a little puppy. So, that's the best way to get a hold of me. And if I can't reply to you right away, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Pleasure to have you here. And I know we've been on the organizing trail for months now. And I feel like here with the new year, it's time to get your crap in order, if I could say it just so realistically, because that's what I'm trying to do. Literally this morning, I sent a text to my father's son saying, can you, because he never takes them, can you take the kids for a day or two? Well, I'm busy on this and that. I'm like, it's because I'm always with them. I can't get anything done. The piles are piling up more and more now from the holidays. I would like to start undecorating, but the house became a full-on disaster. And I'm sure that's for most of us, but I backtracked. I backtracked because it's the holidays.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's the holidays. So cut yourself a little bit of slack. The schedule is a little off. The kids aren't in school. But I believe we talked a little bit about your kids before. And there's a couple methods that we can use to get you back on track. One of them, and I'm sure you do this already quite often, is something called time chunking, where you block off a moment of time. Usually it's like half an hour to 45 minutes to an hour, if you can spare that much, and just kind of go around and reset everything. That's kind of like, pick up the basic stuff, like pick up the garbage, take the garbage out. The kids can help with that. Load the dishwasher, unload the dishwasher. Really basic stuff to kind of keep yourself going. And if you can do a little bit every day and literally put it on your calendar. I do that all the time, where sometimes I do it afterwards because I'm like, oh, I did this, great. But a lot of times I will say, okay, from 11 to 11:30, I've got a consultation from, and we all do this. It's like having meetings at work. Just kind of add it at home. And again, this week is going to be a little bit cuckoo because everything's a little bit off, and it's wonderful and it's great. But I really encourage my clients not to stress themselves out if things aren't how they normally are, because it's just a different time of year. It's the most wonderful time of year, but it's a stress for a lot of parents, and especially a lot of single parents. So you just got to find that balance, and time chunking is a good way to do that, or time grouping. Like literally a good example for professionals such as yourself is to set up, like I said, put it in your calendar, set up a meeting with yourself. And then that way you're able to say, okay, I'm doing this, or just let me get a particular room kind of settled. And, once the kids see you doing that very often, they're curious. So they would want to help. And we want to get them into that habit.
Yep, at a young age.
At a young age. That's why that's why we used to have kids, is to have them help us out in the house and on the farm. So they could definitely teach, if you teach them at a younger age, to help you and contribute to the household a little bit. So the two things to take away from this segment is, really try and time chunk or time group. And then also, if you've got kids and they're old enough, have them get involved, even 10 minutes at a time. I mean, however long their attention spans are. It's a very good idea to have them participate if they can. And another thing that I wanted to bring up, Jill, is, you'd mentioned resolutions, and, I know a lot of people kind of poo-poo them, but I'm all for them. This is a great time of year to start picking like a healthy eating habit. Healthy eating habits, better sleep, basic stuff. And I say, I'm a big proponent of getting back to what works for you. So that might mean, let's say you want to be more organized. Okay, exactly. Set a timeline. Let's say 3 months, I want the house to be organized. And then kind of reverse engineer that and say, all right, how much time every week am I going to participate in this? And literally set up a time to do that. And I do that with my clients all the time, because I like them to really make sure that when we're done organizing the house, that they can keep it organized how they want it. That's very important to me, because you want to learn new habits. So yeah, a lot of people think it's, being rebellious or what have you to not do resolutions. But I think they're great. This is a perfect time of year to do that. Try not to put pressure on yourself or anything like that, undue pressure on yourself, or negative pressure on yourself. You want it to be really, as in the big picture, something powerful that will make you happier. Because obviously, if it doesn't make you happier, don't do it. But also, with getting organized, if you look at it like, this is something I want to do because I love myself, or because I love my family, because I love my home, things like that, that goes a long, long way. So I always like to say that I put as much of a positive spin on it as I can. And if you say, you know what, I'm finally going to get organized, I'm finally going to make that investment and hire a professional organizer, instead of reading articles and stuff like that, because there's so much information out there. So really, that is such a great goal. And, that's even one of my goals, is I'm a pretty organized person, but I want to keep things a little bit tighter. Like I mentioned off the airs, that I'm dog sitting. I love that. It's so much fun. 95% of the time, except when they get into fights. But, I really want to make sure I have a home that I can do that if somebody needs that help. So by tightening things up organizationally in my home, I think that'll go a long way.
I get it. I agree. Well, thank you for that. And by the way, lifeorganizednola.com. If you are just tuning in, Shira, Lurie joining us here live today. Special friend. So is that your puppy, or are you really sitting someone else's? How many do we have? Tell us.
I'm sitting, hang on one second. I'm sitting one dog. She's 15 months old. Her name is Tails. She's absolutely adorable and the sweetest thing ever.
Cute.
Hi. Want to come say hi? And she's my neighbor's dog. So, they know each other. But she's 15 months old and she's been on a tear all morning. So after my meetings, we're going for a nice long walk to tire her out. Shh. Sorry. So yeah, it's just something I like to do. And it's something that's fun for me most of the time. Hang on one second.
Sure.
Guys, it's quiet time. Tails, come here. Come here. Yeah, good girl.
Aww.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. We got a kitten for Christmas and we adopted a
Oh,
cat a few months ago. So yeah, we have two.
how's
So
that
it's
going?
going great so far.
How
I'm
fun.
I'm dying to get the litter robot for Christmas, which I haven't
Oh
got
yeah.
yet, but that's
Oh
that's
yeah.
what I want. That's what I want.
Oh yeah. A litter robot. Oh, I know. Those go a long way. I have a cat too, and she's about 1,400 years old. So she just kind of does her own jam. But yeah, this is fun for, I mean, it's a little chaotic right now,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. Can you sit? Um, but that's life. And I feel like for me personally, if I tighten things up organizational wise, I'll have more free time to spend doing what I really like to do. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something that is essential to me, and keeping as much of a balance as I can. So whether it's exercising more, or earlier this year, for example, I don't mean to talk about myself so much, but
No,
actually
you
quit caffeine, which was it's not something I want to do, but it was a goal I set. It wasn't a big goal. And I tapered. I wasn't drinking that much, but I tapered off, and I love it. I'm doing a lot better without it. And um, so goals like that,
yeah.
things that are nice and small and add up to, like, I wanted to be more healthy this year. Quit caffeine, quit chocolate. Um, and my overall goal was to eat healthier. So that's something in terms of goal setting, the overall goal was to eat healthier. The smaller goals, like I'm saying,
Which
reverse engineer and break it down. I'm gonna have to put her leash on her.
That's
Sorry.
okay. Don't worry. This is all part of live radio and
I
television.
know, sorry.
All good.
Tails, Tails, come here. Tails, come here. Tails, come here. I'm so sorry. Hang
You're
on.
so
Come here.
cute.
I know they're
Take your
so funny.
time.
So yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, resolutions are super fun, because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, you want to feel better
Yeah.
with them. So
Yeah.
that's something that really goes a long way, and in terms of overall happiness and overall life and overall all that stuff. And as a professional organizer, very often what happens is, kind of talking about like off topic stuff from professional organizing, but what, good girl, lay down. But what, Ren, go lay down. Be a good dog.
Oh.
I know they're so funny. But what happens very often when I work with clients is that if I get them organized, a lot of other arenas in their lives become better.
Better.
And yeah, and it's just sort
Clearer.
of,
More
yeah,
open. Weight
exactly.
lifted off the shoulders.
Exactly. So that's something that I really encourage my clients to do. And, in the beginning, if people are so overwhelmed, if we take away that feeling, there's much more space in our brains. And I think I've said this before, for other things. And, 2024, again, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Break down things that you want to accomplish. Make a budget, stick to it, get out of debt, buy a new car, buy a house, whatever it is. And if your home is a good place for you, I like to call it Shangri-La and things like that. If that's a good place for you, a lot of other things fall into place. But be
Mm-hmm.
specific about it. And,
Yeah.
it feels really good when you achieve something, even if it's something as small as, like, an innocuous as quitting caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Tail, sit down. She's not going to sit. I'll just hold on to her.
It's okay.
So yeah, we've talked a lot about things like, it's kind of make a plan. So if people think about it, read articles, all that stuff, plan it out, set a time frame for yourself, but also
Mm-hmm.
understand that if you don't reach that goal, you just set it again and do it over again until it's something that you want to do. Ren, go away. So anyways, that's something that is really powerful and can go a long, long way in your overall balance, your overall well-being. And it all comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I really would love people to focus on. You know, my two listeners, my two listeners is to, you know, take heed and, you know, really, if you're working 80 hours a week, and if that does, and you have to, you know, find smaller chunks of time to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
For example, for me, I love reading and I feel like I don't do it enough. And so I literally started setting a timer just for 10 minutes whenever, or even before bed, someplace where, or a time when there's quiet time, or I have the time to do it. And it sounds so simple, but I love it. And it's such a great thing. And there's a lot of interesting stuff going on out there. Hi, thank you, good girl. So the other thing that I wanted to mention about making resolutions and things like that is, you know, we've talked about how to organize and how to do that. And the other end of it is how it makes you feel. And we want it to be a positive experience. And like I said, I'm kind of going in circles here, but it's something that really, really goes a long way. And I hope that people understand that. So I might just go in another room.
It's okay. It's so funny though.
I know. So sorry. This is life. You know the chaos. I'm gonna go in another room. I'm gonna go hide. So yeah. So 2024, you know, I feel like this year has been such a complicated year for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of things are really good, but a lot of things are really bad. And we want to find a balance to that. And I'm literally sitting in my bathroom. So
I love you. I love Shira Lurie. I do. She is winging it. This happens. She's amazing. Dog sitting, running from the dogs, and she still has it together.
Not really, but you know, there's really, you know, like I said, let's recap real quick. Is, you know, set the goals for yourself. Take the bigger goals and break them down into smaller goals. So like if I'm saying, you know, you want to be completely organized in 3 months, what are you doing on a weekly basis? Literally write it out. We've always got to-do lists. We've always got things that are weighing on us. And I'll give you an example. I'm debating whether or not to clean my house from top to bottom and do a serious like spring cleaning right now, just before 2024. And now that that's in my head, I think I'm probably going to do it in between work and all that stuff, but I know it'll make me feel better. So that's something that I really am looking forward to, oddly enough. And not everybody likes cleaning. Another alternative for that is, if you can afford it, get a house cleaner, because time is money. And when you work with a professional organizer, and a lot of times people have disposable income. And if you don't want to spend 6 hours, like I'm planning on doing, to clean your house, have somebody come in and spend the money. It's a really wise investment. And once you look at it like that, I feel like a lot of people understand the value of that. So, you know, with my clients, you know, it's hard to find a good house cleaner, but once you do, it's great. So just to give you some examples of my goals, really small ones, is to kind of, you know, to be more organized this year. And then also make sure that we really try and find that happy balance between the good and the bad in life. And I feel like I'm a big proponent of, and that's why I went into this industry, is to have things better for people. And if I can help them organize their bathroom, organize their pantry, individual spaces in their house become bigger spaces. And, everyone always says, be kind, be kind, be kind. And I feel like being a professional organizer and when people hire me, it's them being kind to themselves. And that's something that goes a long way for me. And like it's an investment, but it's definitely worth the peace of mind, like you mentioned earlier, the weight lifting off of your shoulders, things like that. So, we really want to take that into account. And it's kind of, this is about, big picture. How do we want our lives to be better in 2024? I can't believe it's 2024 already. So, yeah, that's really where we're coming from right now. And we've gotten some callers on previous shows about, how do you stay stress-free during the holidays? How do you declutter your house before families come over? And the answer, again, to those questions is don't put so much pressure on yourself and really try and do the time chunking. Again, even if it's just an hour, and have everybody help you out, tag team, the clutter, tag team, the spaces that you want to organize. Another thing that I wanted to mention really quickly, I don't know how much time we've got left, is
5 minutes.
Okay, is kind of adding on. I call it adding on. And I've mentioned this before, and this goes a long way with resolutions. So, for example, I started working out at home most mornings. I want it to be 7 days a week, but I don't kill myself if it's not. And it's not for a long time, but getting into the shower just before I do that, I work out for 10 or 15 minutes. And in a month, it's going to go up to 20 minutes. In another month, it'll go up 25 minutes. So but I'm adding that on to something else that I'm already doing. And so if you are in the habit already of, for example, reading before bed, and you want to add a skincare routine to that before you read, if you read every night, do your skincare routine in addition to, along with the reading. So it kind of becomes a habit. And they say it takes 21 days to form a habit. I don't know. I think that it takes longer. But also, it's a skill. And so it's yeah, I call it adding on, but it's like, I've said it pretty concisely before. You're adding something on to something that you already do. If you want a good example is like a morning routine. Everybody's got one. Everybody brushes their teeth. So if you want to make sure you take vitamins every morning, just before you brush your teeth, take your vitamins, that sort of stuff. And then we just go from there. But the other thing is plan it, be specific, reverse engineer it, but don't look at them, set yourself up for success, not for failure. And that's just planning. And you have to really prioritize what's important to you. And that's why I'm kind of interested in these goals this year, because I don't do them every year, but I thought a couple of days ago, I'm like, this is not a bad thing. This is a wonderful thing. And it's a great way to do this stuff. And it's a great time to do this stuff. For most people, it's cold outside. Can't really play outside for long periods of time or things like that. So I like making a house feel like a home and someone's safe space and Shangri-La and all of those calm, peaceful places. So to do that, you really take the time for yourself and make those things a priority. But get specific, write it down. I'm a big proponent of writing it down. I'm a big proponent of one like one long running to-do list instead of having lists everywhere.
There's my list. It's clean house, organized. It's on a Post-it, hard to read. Sits there on the wall in front of me, and I look at it every day, and I still can't get it off. You want to pull them off when you do it, but I haven't been able to pull it off because it's not done.
Yeah, well, organize your house is a big project. So why don't you put a Post-it on top of it saying organize kitchen, and then you can pull that off, and then do another room. Organize kids' bedrooms, and then you pull it off, because that's a big long-term goal. We want to break that down. So yeah, I love that Post-it. It's a good goal. Set it and do it. Just do it, like Nike says.
Love it. Love it. All right. And that's my goal for the new year, to get more in touch, to get more organized. I think we all should. It's a great, I'm telling you, in a few months from now, I don't know how many shows you have, but you need to check back in with me. We got to be, we're friends. We got to connect, because I'm going to be a different person. I'm going to be such a better mother, a better me, a better everything because of it. I feel it. It's on the verge of happening, but I feel like it's a setback because of the holidays, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You're my accountability partner. I'm like, Shira's going to check in with me. Oh my gosh.
You'll be great at it. I'm sure. And you already are. You've got 2 healthy kids. You've got a nice home. Be grateful for the good things that happen. Thankful for the bad things that didn't happen. Try not to put pressure on yourself, but get specific and make a plan every week.
Oh, well, thank you. So the new year's here. Gosh, we only have a minute left, and it happens like this. Oh my gosh. How do we reach you? But wrap us up for the new year. What should we be doing?
All right, y'all. Well, listen, rest, take care of yourself, take care of your family, be kind to people, and just get as organized as you can. The best way to reach me is at lifeorganizednola.com. And again, my name is Shira Lurie, and I'm the owner and founder of Life Organized Nola. And I wish everybody a happy, healthy, organized, safe new year.
Well, thank you. That's all I want most. And that's what I want for the holidays.
Yeah.
How do we reach you, Shira?
The best way to reach me is at my website, lifeorganizednola.com. And another way is 248-709-0609. And sorry, I'm literally holding my iPad up to my face. So if it's shaking, sorry.
It's okay. You go back to those babies, take care of them, and you have a fantastic day and a very happy new year. And are we talking next year?
I think so.
All right, cool. Yep. Thank you so much, Shira. Have a great day and happy dog sitting. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Happy New Year, Jill.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.